those thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain. Why do I suffer so much? I would love to feel your touch. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Save me before I pass out. Save me before I pass out. Before I pass out.
Tell me what you want, tell me what you want. Tell me what you're feeling inside. Just gonna take you out of my mind. And I gotta wake up without myself tomorrow. Try to confront every wall that you said. Even after you left, all this gap turned out to become a sorrow. Tell me what you want, Tell me what you feel inside. Just can take you out of my mind. You gotta sit in your eyes. Try to confront the skies. Can you feel my outside?
It's getting dark, I feel the I feel the I feel the It's getting dark, I feel the I feel the
I feel a change, something within my heart. I didn't know I could feel like this. Running away, try to keep myself quiet. 'Cause I knew I felt so hard. You scare me with how much I could love. You give me wings, how you
Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to another AFR broadcast. We're here tonight for round 2 of the AFR Tier 1 Championship Season 10 here at the Marina Bay Circuit. I almost said yes, Marina Circuit. That's how terrible I am today. All right, I am Kuno Zero, and bringing co-coms with me is Psycho.
Good evening, everyone. I was absolutely waiting for you to say yes, Marina.
I was so close to saying yes, Marina.
He's gonna do it!
But no, we're here at Marina Bay. So, we're just jumping into the qualifying session now. It'll be an 18-minute session for these guys to go around and set their fastest lap in order to determine who will start at the front of the grid. I don't know if we've got any late joiners, but for now, the people you see on the screen are who are here.
I believe Ford's going to join late. I think there's a bit of an issue. Big Al just disconnected, and
I see a
Mikhail
couple of people leaving the session, actually.
Yeah, Mikhail also just disconnected, weirdly enough. Big Al's game must have frozen. He's launching it again, so they'll just join mid-session. Should be fine.
No worries. We'll see how that goes. All right, so 18 minutes on the clock there. Everybody will pick their setups and figure out their strategies and jump out onto the track. Let's get the track map up and running. Track map. And it looks like people are sharing numbers, which shouldn't surprise me at all. They are. Okay, so who is currently P11?
Happy to name and shame. M-Dog?
Okay, so let me just grab this. So M-Dog is running driver 60. Okay, no worries, I can fix that easily.
He's in the Alpha Tauri, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yep,
so
perfect.
That, no worries. And let's see. I've got Crush 1 and 2. So who's the top right now? Who's in the half?
Trin. He should be running number 50, I think.
Trin is running number 50, but that's interesting. Number 50 is Trin, but why is it showing up as Crush?
Is it a name thing, maybe, or what's?
No, I think he's just not changed his number.
Oh.
I'm going to assume he hasn't changed his number, but that's fine. We'll just have to deal with that one. Everyone else, I believe, is correct, so we'll leave it from there and jump back in.
Oh, interesting race tonight. We've got another possible front contender here. Jack Humphreys, who reserved for us for a while last season. A very rapid driver. He was fighting with Feber a couple of races. He's back on the grid.
He's making his way to Sector 3 at the moment, so we'll jump aboard with him and wait for him to make his way to the line for his first flying lap.
He's on green ring tyres.
Huh. So he is. He's on intermediates.
Maybe not look at him for the first
lap.
lap.
Yeah, he'll be coming back in. That's for sure.
That took me far too long to work out.
That's for sure.
M-Dog is just about to start a lap.
Yep, we'll jump on board with him. Here we go. Cross the line, so of course, Marina Bay Circuit 23. Oh, it's Jack Humphreys retires from the session. Okay, that's an interesting call. So 15 minutes to go there on the timing screen. 23 turns here at the circuit, 5 kilometers on the lap. 49% of the lap is in full throttle.
Is that the least, or is Monaco the least?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I will have to go through the stats and answer that next week. But probably... Now, Monaco would have to be the least. It doesn't have as many stretches where you can pin it.
Yep.
Like, for sure. Anybody in the chat can correct me on that. But, yeah, I believe Monaco would be the least. So here comes M-Dog into Sector 2 now.
Bit of wheel spin out of that hairpin.
It's the line, 104.9.
did have a faster sector 1, but that was stolen away from him.
We go down through underneath the grandstands. Coming out of turn 19. Only a couple of corners to go. Interestingly enough, that is no longer on the Marina Bay circuit. They've actually made that an entire straight. They've gotten rid of the little U shape in the middle as M-Dog goes across the line with a 138.1 to kick us off.
Solid banker there. I'm sure that someone will smash that, but good start. King as well, 38.6. Decent banker by him.
Right, so we'll stay on board with Mikko at the moment. As Eckham, 136.7.
Very rapid there by Eckham. T-Mac doing a 37.1.
And King J there with a 136.8. So there's so much more time here on the board, guaranteed for these guys. As now I've got to remember, is Trin reserving in the Haas or the Alpha Tauri?
Trin is an ass.
In the Haas, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
So if I see the Haas logo, it's Trin. The Alpha Tauri is Crush. I'll have to remember that.
Just think of Massacre a few seasons ago.
So here we go. Mikko now down towards the first turn. Hard on the brakes. Fourth gear, riding the curb. You can actually get away with a lot of curb there. Don't settle the car too much as you hear Rob's building. Again, down to fourth, using the inside. Almost brushing the wall there. Good speed towards that sector 1 line. 26.9 is the fastest at the moment. And it will not be beaten. Mikko.
It's an interesting line Macau took through turn 2 there.
Slower by a tenth though. So we'll see where he sits on the board once he finishes the lap. For now, only 7 people to have set a time. .1039, fastest sector 2. This car
Such
seems
a
very
good
slippery.
corner.
Wow, just hear the engine revs there. Yeah, wow, down 0.5 as we have a car around. That looks like one of the Alpha Tauris.
Parked in a precarious spot there, luckily it's not on the racing line.
Alright, so Mikko's definitely got way more time in his lap. But we're looking at probably a 37 when he crosses the line, I think. Only a couple of corners to go now as he just pulls in behind the Red Bull. Might get a cheeky toe through the last corner. Here we go, down the line, and it is 137.3. Good enough for P3 at the moment.
Rapid time by Macau, it's a massive banker. Phoebo's just hitting sector 2 now for his first flyer. And it's looking pretty good so far. Oh, as I said that, he misses an apex.
So there are the fastest sectors on your screen. Ryan Bell with a 26.8, Eckham with a 37.0 in the middle, and T-Mac with a 32.6 for the Alfa Romeo team for Sector 3. So no one driver owns any more than one sector, which is a good sign for everyone else, as there is time to gain. 10 minutes left on that timing tower as we stay on board with Mikko's teammate as he gets ready for a flying lap.
Ryan Bell just cut sector 2, cut the cane before the bridge, so his time will be invalidated.
So have a look here. Super esports line from Bait there. Using the track as a suggestion. So here we go. Up through the gears. And again, lowest gear tends to be third. Ooh, but he did screw up that turn there. Shifted a little too early. But anyway, now down towards turn 7. You can see the McLaren just getting out of the way there. Hard on the brakes. Using the curb. Realised the lap timer was not up. I apologise. Nice smooth line. Just getting so close to the wall here. Singapore, one of those tracks. Very unforgiving.
Bates carrying a lot of speed.
Gotta get these turns just right here. Now to the hairpin. Ooh, second. Interesting. Here we go. 103 there from Eckham. Bait down by 0.4. Probably still set a good time on the board.
It'd still be top 5, I think.
Yeah, the Alpines are doing well tonight. Mick out, P3 at the moment. As we saw, Levi Tiger Pants up into P4 there. Here goes Bait, turn 21. Now, final fast left. And it's a 37-2. It actually knocks his teammate down a peg. So the two Alpines, third and fourth at the moment. Not bad at all.
That was a massive banker.
That was a massive banker. So you're expecting... What do you reckon the potential there from the Alpines is?
I know Bait has a 36 in him, but I don't know if it's a 36-7.
Okay. Well, 7 minutes 40 on the clock. There's plenty of time to go as we stay on board with M-Dog here. Personal best at the moment here is a 138.1. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve that as he makes his way around the circuit. We've still got a bunch of drivers that haven't set a time at all, which is interesting. Are you going to move on, boys?
Crash?
Well, he's retired. I'm not sure if he crashed out or if he retired, but in any case, he is out of the session. Here we go.
Big Al. Oh, sorry, M-Dog.
Yep. So just making his way through the first couple of turns now. .26.7. Big Al set the time here. Let's see if M-Dog can have anything to say about it. Ooh, as Big Al sets a fastest lap now with a 136.003. He is a hair's width away from the 35s. And that's a statement and a half.
That my jaw's on the floor. That's ridiculously quick. I was on board for half that lap and I still can't believe it.
As T-Max sets a 136.8, Panda with a 136.89. So third and fourth respectively. The Alpines dropping down 2 places there. Indy and her Jones, 137.7 up into P9. And M-Dog doing well now. So he'll definitely be faster, that's for sure, with the 2 green sectors under his belt. As Eckham, 136.2. So closer, but not enough to dethrone Big Al at the moment. Here comes M-Dog to the final turns.
I think one of the Ferraris... Sorry, I think one of the Red Bulls did a Pondon.
Sorry, did a Pondon?
Remember when he crashed the pit lane? And then it cut away to that Aston Martin engineer just standing there?
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah. I do remember that. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, they're not out of the race, luckily. I can see 4 heads down there. He hasn't had time. I think he's still in the pit.
Bit of a tow going on here. Panda gave FIBA a nice tow over the bridge. That was a really nice tow.
Let's see how that goes. The lap timer should update for us any moment now. And it's 2 purple sectors, so Big Al's provisional pole is under threat. I mean, for the surprise of no one, Ryan Bell and Big Al, the 2 big contenders here. Big Al coming up best last week, but Ryan Bell will take provisional pole with a 135.754. He doesn't just beat it, he smashes it. And that's going to take a monster lap.
That is ridiculously quick. Eckham did have another go, and he dropped from the... I think he had a 36.7. He dropped to a 36.2, so still 2 tenths off Big Al. But Big Al being 3 tenths off FIBA. That's... I mean, that's scary.
Alright, so in the chat there, just Crush confirming that he retired on his outlap. So that's why he is out of race. Here comes Bait. Again, 137.2 on the board. This particular Alpine. 135.7 is what sets the pole pace. Bate actually decided to come in. He's not happy with his current form, so we'll reset there, probably get new tyres. As Mick out, 136.905. Just jumps his teammate there for P6.
Yeah, Bate will have time for one more run. If he brings it in now.
And there's, of course, Forehead there, who is in the session, but not set a time yet.
I still can't work out what Jack Humphries is doing. Just a big flex going for a last to first.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see how that develops there. No sprint race, obviously. This is not a sprint weekend. Bell coming into the pit lane now. We can see his teammate currently out on track, so we'll stay on board with the Aston Martin as he makes his way around. 136.8, the best at the moment for Panda.
These guys that are so rapid, it's interesting just watching them as they drive around, even if they're not on a hot lap. Like, Ryan came into the pit just now, and he took the weirdest racing line into the pit lane that I have ever seen. Barely keeping it in the limits and just bouncing over the curbs where he can to even make up as much time as he can coming into the pit lane.
Yeah. They just drive the circuit so much, they know exactly where they can put their car. It's really crazy to watch sometimes. You just see the sector differences there. So the big difference is sector 2 here between the two Aston Martins. 0.6 separates them there. 0.2 separates them in sectors 1 and 3.
I like how the Crush and Kebab are having a domestic in the chat.
Ooh, thought he might have track limited there, but he does not. So here we go. Crosses the line. P5 at the moment for Panda. Can he look to improve? Will we see him dethrone his teammate? That might be unlikely, but not out of the realm of possibility.
I will eat a shoe.
You will eat a shoe. I once made that bet and cheated because I asked a baker to make me a chocolate shoe.
I don't think it's cheating. That's just smart.
No, that's what I said. Everyone else called me a cheater. So here we are. So Panda, 0.2 slower on the first sector, but still green on the time. So it'll be an improvement thus far for the Aston Martin. As we see everybody else coming out, 52 seconds left on the timing window. It'll be the last chance for a lot of these guys to set their fastest laps. Ryan Bell still comfortably at the top there with the only 35. Oh, and just having to lift up there. That's going to cost Panda some time. And also doesn't hit the apex as well as he'd like. But here we go.
It's lines, man.
Oh, 0.7 slower than the fastest time. It's still an improvement. And yeah, just keeping the high gears. As we see Mika retire from the session, so he's happy with his 136.9. And Eckham has also retired there, 136.2. Sneaky with a 138.0 at the back there, P12. Oh, and he hits the wall. It's not an invalidation. He can still go, but it'll cost him, and he'll cross the line. And wow, he 136.8, so he does jump up to P4, but that touch with the wall, I don't think that won him any favors.
That cost him. That cost him a bit. He did beat T-Mac though, which would have been his main goal. He managed to squeeze himself right in that Big Mac.
Speaking of Big Mac, here comes Big Al around the final couple of corners. They're a yellow sector 2, so I don't think we'll see an improvement from the Alfa Romeo. 1. Here we go. Oh, he does a purple sector 3. So he doesn't improve overall. He's still in P2. And just curious here, we'll jump on board with Ryan Bell. Once the timer updates, are we seeing a faster time? My lord, we are. So 103.3 by the man on your screen, and he smashes it by a 10. You're only racing yourself. But then again, bragging rights, here we go. Turn 17. On the brakes. Underneath the grandstand. Nice and easy on the throttle. Don't spin the rear tyres. Now towards turn 20. Up against the wall. Don't do what your teammate did. Nice and clear. Now into the final turns. And Ryan Bell with no threat at all. And he does it again. A 130. Is that a 135.6?
Yeah, I think it's a 0.6.
I think it's a 0.6.
Over a tenth up. Tell you what, you couldn't stick a piece of paper between the edge of his car and the wall around some of those corners.
Jesus. All right, a 135.618 there from the Aston Martin, who to solidify starting at the front of the grid. Big Al with a 135.9. So both of those two in the 35s, but a 3/10 gap between them. Eckerman forehead, the Red Bull team, P3 and 4. They'll be starting alongside each other. T-Mac, Pan, and Mick Bait, Trin and Indy round out the top 10. And an unfortunate one there for Crush and Jack Humphreys, who will start at the back of the grid.
I am a little... No, I'm not really surprised with Feedback. He put in a bit of practice this week. It is the first time in, I believe... Please correct me if I'm wrong. In over an entire season that Ryan Bell has not led the championship.
Probably.
Which is possibly why he went, oh no, I kind of want to win this.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. Because obviously he had some incidents in the main race, and Big Al just walked away with the main race last week. So yeah, Big Al on 32 points, Ryan Bell on 26 at the moment. If everything actually works here, we can see a... We'll be able to see just a quick recap. I believe I've set it up correctly. It's been a while since I've had to use it, but it should come up correctly during the formation lap as we just count down in preparation for that. Now, I pose this question to you, Psycho, and also everyone watching at home. How many safety cars will we have tonight?
27. I'm expecting... just reading down the grid here. I'm expecting 2.
You're expecting 2 safety cars. So are you saying, is that 2 full safety cars, or is that including VSCs?
If you include VSCs, let's make it 3.
Fair enough. All right, so Kebab in the chat saying 3, Dalek saying 2, so we're floating around that number. So on your screen should appear the Drivers' Championship standings as they are, and you can see Big Al currently leading with 32 points, Ryan Bell with 26, Eckham with 21, Crush there in P4 with 15, all the way down to T-Mac with 3 points, thanks to the sprint weekend. And everyone else with 0. You might be wondering why number 20 has nobody in there. Well, that's because we don't have a full-time driver for the second Williams seat. So right now there are only 19 drivers competing for points. So I think you might be onto something, Psycho. I think Ryan Bell's coming out here to show absolute dominance. And in a track like Singapore, track position is key. And so he'll be looking to use all of that to his advantage as he just drifts around to warm those tyres. No big deal.
He's just showing Big Al how wide that Aston Martin really is.
That's it. He's like, just so you know, I can make the rear up to 2.5 meters wider by how much right foot I decide to use. It's just fantastic. Having a look at these starting tyres too. Interesting strategy. The majority of the grid going with the hard tyre for the first stint, but Baitmate, Indy, and Crush choosing to go with the medium tyre instead.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Everyone knows something I don't, because I really don't pay attention enough when it comes to strategy in the F1 games. I really should. But anyway, we're about to see these things kick off. Ryan Bell just coming up to the line. Now, hopefully everybody would have learnt from Sneaky's mistake last week to not overtake during the formation lap.
I think they're all behaving themselves.
I don't see any pirouettes, which is, from a safety perspective, awesome. From an entertainment perspective, it's a little lacking. That's all right. Everybody making their way. Oh, it's bait. Cannot park.
He always... this makes me happy. He always brags about as having never missed a park. Oh, Karma, you are a sweet, sweet mistress.
Well, we're just waiting for everybody to, I suppose, finalize here. This is not a good sign, though. Usually this will mean... Now, Dalek says rip bait in the chat. I'm going to assume it came up saying that bait disconnected, and that's what's caused this, because when this happens, generally the host has dropped out. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So it looks like they will most likely have to restart this. There we go. Yep, bait has left the session, so everyone's going to take off, but I believe...
if it's only a single driver, we should be fine.
Oh, okay. Well, for now, the race is underway, and Ekem wastes absolutely... Oh, we've got massive spins here. I think everyone's just piling through. Big Al's left the session. Indy's left the session. I have a feeling that we're going to be restarting.
Okay, looks like a restart then.
Not a problem. Okay, well, we'll just have to switch over to our static screen. Apologies. We'll have a short break. And when we come back, we should be able to get this race underway.
Our comfort zone, protecting people with a tone, We just want to save this world, so prepare yourselves for us. Try to take me down, 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 down. Try to lift me up, 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 but stop the time crashing through my mind. Let's try to get it beyond. When I see you there, and my heart goes blind. When I see you there, and my heart goes blind.
I'm here only because your stare won't ever let me.
Okay, apologies for the break. We should be good to go now. And not sure if fog or light pollution. I'm going to assume light pollution.
Considering we're in Singapore, I would probably say light pollution, yeah.
Alright, so hopefully this time everything goes without a hitch. I'm assuming they'll still have their formation lap. Curious to see if anybody changes up their strategy, or if we still see the same amount of variance in the hard and medium runners. Excellent. There we go.
All right. Take 2.
Okay, so it looks like Crush at the back has decided to go on hard. Otherwise, it is the same for everyone. Bait and Indy still going on the medium tire. And I believe that, yep, Trent changed his number, so
So, interestingly enough, we did have another driver join us.
oh my god, he's got the same number! You're kidding! Yes, we did. We had someone join last minute, just jump in the back of the grid, and I've just noticed they're running this. I've got the same number. Oh well.
There's some weird shenanigans going on here, again, at the back of this grid.
What do you mean, sir?
Jack Humphreys is behind Apex. Crush is also out of position. Sneaky is out of position.
Oh, okay, so there's been some switch.
M-Dog is at the very back. M-Dog spun. So that was the thing. Which I think isn't punished hard enough. I honestly
Wait a
think
minute.
if you mess up
M-Dog-
on the formation lap,
Oh, M-Dog is at the back.
Yeah.
Huh.
I reckon if you mess up on the formation lap, you should actually... if you hit the wall, you should actually get damage.
Oh, that's right. You can't get car damage on the formation, though, can you?
No.
Well, Max Verstappen sure wish that was a thing in Hungary.
He did it again.
Okay, so obviously having some issues there getting to the line. Here we go. Look at that. Nice little burnout to the box.
Any of these guys parking on weird angles. Ah, I was so hoping Bait would mess up that parking again.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like he's got it this time. Oh, but the M-Dog got punted out here. So here we go. Here are the 5 red lights. Unfortunately, the camera is not cooperating with me. The lights are all out.
There we go.
And away they go.
Ferrari was sideways for a bit.
Here we go. Big Al is challenging for position already, but it looks like Ryan Bell managed to make it through. The other Alfa Romeo getting pushed down off the track. And there are a ton of spell, and it looks like there's AlphaTauri. Oh, both the AlphaTauris! And Jack Humphreys at the back there. Oh, and Jack Humphreys gets given a 5-second penalty for the extended crash. Oh, we are off to a crazy start.
I'm not sure what happened there. I see some carbon fiber on the road as well later on down the track. So someone ahead lost a bit of wing. Might be Trin. I'm not too sure. But someone's definitely got a bit of damage. Jacob losing some positions as well.
Yep, so I can tell you now that the M-Dog has floor damage. Jack Humphreys has front wing damage, and Indy has severe front wing damage. So I will assume that it probably comes from the Ferrari of Indy. That's where the debris is. Dropping down to the middle of the pack here, P7. Wait, now chasing Panda. Sneaky, making some positions there. Levi as well at the back, Crush, overtaking his teammate. Also to answer Parker in the chat, it is an overlay called F1 TV Dashboard. You can find it on Race Department.
It is a pretty cool overlay. Makes the UI much less messy. Yep, Jacob's coming into pit and he needs that one replaced. I have Apex as well, he's in the pits.
I didn't see Apex. Oh, Apex did get front wing damage after the fact. He didn't have front wing damage before, but between then and now, as Jack Humphries picks up a 5-second penalty for spinning in the pit lane, that is not a good race for him so far.
No, he's had a bit of strife right now. That'll be a front wing as well, and another penalty, as you said.
So there's a predicted pit stop strategy there, the one stop between laps 18 and 20.
He'll serve as 1 5-second because he had that 5-second for contact with Crow.
So,
Pepsi lost it. He's sideways.
and we have yellow flag there in Sector 2 for the spun Williams. Luckily, nobody else involved in that. So, as it stands right now, nobody with damage to the car except for the M-Dog, who does have that floor damage, which of course cannot be repaired.
Oh lord, Levi Tiger Punch just killed Trent. He just punted him clean into the corner.
Going to get overtaken here by Crush on the outside. It looks like the Ferrari might have some problems here. Eckham now also with front wing damage, up there in P3.
Oh, that's going to hurt him long term. And yeah, a little unfortunate there for Pepsi spinning, Trin getting murdered again.
Ryan Bell, 140.8. The DRS has been enabled. We are on lap 3. And Bate looking to try and maximise the performance advantage here by starting on the medium tyre, but he has not been able to pass the Aston Martin of Panda ahead, as we see the Ferrari of Levi pitting in at the moment. Singapore, quite difficult to overtake on. There are long sections of track where you can do so, but you've really got to commit to the move. Here we go, down on the inside, hard on the brake, but he will not be able to inch forward, and Panda will stay ahead for now. Oh, now he might do it on the outside of turn 9. Or turn 8, rather. Oh, it's drifting.
Yeah, it was almost a move. It was almost on Bate, just not being able to pull the car up in time, unfortunately.
Well, that's the problem. Sometimes you just use a little bit too much right foot. Those rear tyres can't grip the ground, and you start to slide.
Panda running very deep though into the corner before the hairpin. That's going to cost him. Bates on him again in the DRS zone.
So here we go. He's looking on the inside, but he doesn't have the brake space to do it. Just gives him a little bit of a nudge, just to remind the Aston Martin that yes, I am in fact behind you. Doesn't want to do it too hard, otherwise he'll impart some carbon. Much needed carbon there on the front wing. So you can see the speedometer on the right side with the brake and throttle applications. And Beatty's doing a great job.
Panda does not look very comfortable in that car. He's a bit twitchy.
Yeah, could just be the setup. In any case, he's still ahead, so Bates got his work cut out for him. Currently the closest on track, I believe. Actually, the two Red Bulls are giving each other quite a run. Eckham currently ahead in P3 there. But Forehead losing the distance. So hopefully good team play from them.
Bates can have another crack.
Down on the inside, hard on the brake. He's probably going to try and close him out, and he does. It's really good. There's a little bit of a force there. Aston Martin having to go wide, but I think it's fair play. Bait up into P6 now. So switching down a couple of positions. P10 at the moment. Sneaky, 14 Mercedes. His teammate, the reserve Jack Humphries, all the way down in last position and with penalties. So very bad start for him. Sneaky right now, last of the points paying positions. Looking to chase down Crush here in the AlphaTauri.
Gotta hand it to these guys though. They not a single safety car yet. They're all still turning.
Yeah, there have been incidents, but at least they haven't impeded the majority of the other drivers. Therefore, no safety car needed to be called out. Then again, as we have Jack Humphries retired from the session. Where is this? It's in the pits. I thought it might have been a crash. It's not. He is retired safely in the pits. That's fine. We are now down to 17 drivers. And all the hopes for Mercedes now rest on the man on your screen.
Safely is arguable because his car came back out on track and he impeded forehead.
Oh, it came. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. It should pull over, I assume.
It's pulling over now, but it could have done that better.
Yeah, there'll be no safety car. I think it's okay. You can see the yellow flag was immediately clear past. So 17 drivers now, and the times are really starting to blow out. Big Al more than a second behind Ryan at the moment. T-Mac dancing on the 1 second mark, chasing down forehead, the Red Bull. So again, Singapore, a very rough track, street circuit. It's fantastic to watch, but to drive, nerve-wracking, no runoffs. Remnants of Baku and Monaco. Usually one of the longer sessions that we have due to aforementioned safety cars, but we'll see if these guys can keep it clean. Also, something to point out here is we see Race Control give India a 3-second time penalty for track extensions. And that's actually what I was going to talk about. Back at turn, I think it's 14 or 15, the track goes all the way to the left, but if you cut the white line, it's considered a track extension. Which I always thought was weird. Like, why? That's not even faster, like, at any point. But in any case, game determines it as a track extension. I'll pick up a warning for doing so.
It's a bit strange. I would have just said wall's the limit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would have thought. I mean, but no, in any case. Alright. Back down a couple more positions. P13 at the moment. Apollo Pepsi is chasing down King J here in the McLaren. He's caught up about 3/10 here, so DRS is a real threat to that orange car ahead. You can see the wing. And he's got the speed, but it's not enough, so he'll have to stay behind for now. Go through turn 7.
I think he was just a little bit too far to make the move stick.
Yeah, you really do have to have speed. If you're going to stick your nose on the inside, I mean, you really do have to be like proper speed, because it's so easy to get shut out. And then if you commit to that and the guy ahead of you is turning, you're probably losing a wing. So when it comes to moves like that, you want to make sure you're right up the back of the other car well early in the before the next turn. Otherwise, you're just not going to make it here. So this is the part I'm talking about. There's that white line. If you actually go to the left of that white line, you're given a track extension, which, I mean, it's clearly the slower line. So just happens with Evan in any case. Lap 6 of 31. Apollo Pepsi still trying to hound King J here.
He isn't the only one. T-Max on the back of forehead as well, but they both don't have any ERS left.
Switch up there, P5 at the moment. It looks like Baitmate is also starting to come up into this battle here. I am curious to see what Baitmate's tyre wear is. 24% on the medium tyre. T-Mac on 21% on the hard. So right now it's not too much different as T-Mac goes down the inside into turn 7 and makes the overtake on the Red Bull. So now for Romeo with T-Mac. Splitting up the Red Bull cars.
Good move there. Bit of a an issue there for forehead, because running wide like that really cost him. Bait is now right on his tailpipe.
Again, Bates' tyre is still in a really good window there. So he'll need to leverage this as much as possible. As, wow, T-Mac went so wide on the
Right!
the apex of the hairpin, and that's allowed the Alpine to go right up on the inside of the Red Bull. It is no effort at all. And it's P5 there. Oh, but he gets tapped slightly. The Red Bull did not pull up in time. And I think Panda's going to capitalize on it. He does. The Aston Martin goes up. And if you're in that Red Bull, I cannot imagine it's a healthy team radio right now.
Yeah, forward just got swallowed. That's unfortunate for him. Mikau right on the back as well. Hubler can overtake him. in the next couple of corners as well as the other guys. Panda had a bit of a struggle at the start, but he seems to be finding his rhythm now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that second Red Bull there. Eckermann's in P3 at the moment, and essentially no man's land, 6 seconds behind Big Al, and then T-Mac is 4 seconds behind him, so Eckermann his own little bubble. But Forehead definitely got mugged on the last couple of moves, ended up touching the back of the Alpine, just didn't pull the car up enough, and now under serious threat from the other Alpine. Mikau is... It's a big speed differential here. It's not enough to overtake, but he's definitely getting closer.
Well, Forward's going to be in a bit of strife now because he's borderline losing DRS. He has now lost DRS, so Mikau should have a better run at him on the next section.
I'm curious to know what's going on. Oh, well, okay, that might actually answer it. So there's no ERS there. Forehead has been trying to use all of it in order to defend. It's not been working, but he also has front wing damage. Now, interestingly, Bait does as well. So I don't think the front wing damage from Forehead's side is what's causing the slow, or the overtakes, I should say. I think that maybe he's just losing some ability at the moment, and everyone else is just capitalizing on that. I'm curious to see if Forehead maybe brings it back in the later half of the race.
Bait is doing an exceptional job for someone with front wing damage. He's managed to pull a second on Panda already, placing down T-Mac. Looking like a serious contender at the moment, especially with damage.
The medium tyres, obviously, an advantage there in performance. I'm curious to know just how many more laps they're going to hold on.
Oh!
30%?
King J lost it and Apex just crashed right into him. Apex ignored the yellow flags and just punted right into King J. Double DNF. That's a safety car. Full course safety car.
Well, I'm trying to get to the part of the track that they're... Oh, and they blocked the track!
Levi! Oh, Levi hit him.
Track.
Jacob!
Oh my god, and Jacob just managed to get past them as well!
Hits them.
Oh my god.
Does no one understand yellow flags? Seriously, guys.
Well, I don't think they expected the track to be actually blocked, but in any case, you are supposed to slow down in order to minimize harm. But if you're Levi, and Indy, you are thanking the Lord that you didn't get more damage, because
that was
so close.
Yeah.
So
that
close.
was horrendous. King J spun and Apex just completely ignored yellow flags. Full speed pelted into it.
Man, so Levi actually hit the back of the Williams there hard. Indy managed to get out of there unscathed. But yeah, wow, that is not an ideal place for a crash. In any case, that is one of the safety cars for tonight.
Can I just point out how lucky this is now for Bait? Because Bait could throw on hards and go the distance.
Yeah, well, let's see. What's the gap between him and Panda? How many laps are we in? 9 laps. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, there's a little bit of a fake there from the Aston Martin. So Ryan Bell staying out. Big Al coming into the pits.
It's too early, Big Al. It's too early. I think it's a mistake.
Well, he doesn't think so. He's going down through the pit lane now. You can see his team. So medium tyres. So that is 21 laps.
Oh, the pit lane just got really busy. 21 laps on the mediums is gonna be... It's doable, but it's not gonna be fun. I mean, I honestly wouldn't even stretch the hards. Like that's even stretching the hards a little bit.
Alright, well here comes the majority of those who ran into the pit lane now. And as you can see, fresh tyres for everyone there. We'll get an update on the current tyres. So, Big L onto the mediums. T-Mac, Panda, Mikau, Forehead. All on mediums. M-Dog, Ryan Bell, Ekem, Crush, and Sneaky. Yet to pit. The Ferraris have actually pit twice.
Bro, strategy at work.
10 laps down. Got a safety car. The safety car will most likely be out for 1 or 2 laps. The grid is actually quite fragmented, so it's going to stay out enough so that everyone can gather back up.
Okay, Jacob is a proper Ferrari driver. He's in the pits again. What is he doing?
He has no damage there.
He just put his old hard tyres back on.
Maybe realised that they're too early. They're on too early. I mean, he loses nothing. He was already at the back. Now he's got 1 lap of wear on the mediums. Not sure why, but anyway.
That hurts my brain.
I think he just had a lapse in judgment there for the pit strategy. In any case. Oh, and Endo gets a drive-through penalty for falling too far back. 7 seconds is the game. He's flat stick, so I wonder if, like, the game just didn't give him enough time to catch up.
I'm not sure. I don't know what he was doing. He might have paused or something. I don't know what he was doing because the delta would only go away. Sorry, you'd only get that warning if you got within 10 car lengths of the car ahead and then dropped back after that. And considering it's Singapore, I don't know how you could drop back with the speed that safety car's driving.
In any case, he's been given that penalty, so if he's had that lapse, that's fine, but it's going to cost him. It's pretty serious. A drive through, it's a 20-second travel time through the pit lane, so that's not going to be fun there for the AlphaTauri. So, judging by the grid, it's the 2 Ferraris. I mean, rough one there for Indy, who is only just getting to the start-finish line as he goes around the final corner. And also that'll be Trin, the back there as well.
Well, this is actually good for Trin. He was very unfairly taken out of the race by Levi, so hopefully he can get back into it. Hopefully compete for some points. He's on that same strategy as Bate is, so he's got the right tyre, right distance to go. As long as he can keep it clean, he should be hopefully on some points then.
So, Ekin with front wing damage, M-Dog, Floor, and Bate with front wing damage. Everyone else still in the race. No damage being reported.
How severe is Bate's damage?
It says it's 1 stage, so it doesn't seem very, very severe.
I think it might be lime green because they obviously didn't replace it in the pit when he pit. So he might not even be aware that he has damage. Because I'm in here, they don't have an engineer, so he might not know.
And they do have access to the MFD, which will tell them whether or not he looks at that as a different story.
Yeah, if you get lime green though, they sometimes don't tell you, and you actually do have to physically look. You could just think you flow.
Lap 12 of 31, I think this will be the last safety car lap. Should be enough time for... And Trina's actually back in the pits.
What is he doing?
No medium tyres.
Red mediums. Okay, he's gonna go the distance.
Curious to see if Indy will actually get the overtake done before he gets out of the pit lane. He does not. These two now have to run to chase the back of that grid, and I'm curious if the safety car comes in, because if so, they may not catch the back of the grid before the lap is over.
That sector 3 is so slow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think Ryan will actually hold up the grid for the most part and just keep it at a steady pace. I think they'll be okay.
Ryan does also tend to have the most creative safety car restarts from anyone I've ever seen. Like, he'll always do the opposite of what anyone expects.
So the safety car is coming in. We have had the confirmation there, and it is now up to Mr. Bell. In order to restart this race, you can see him just weaving back and forth, just trying to get temperature in the tyres. As is everyone behind him. You can see now that Trin and Indy will catch the back of the grid as they move through turn 19.
I like how Ryan started holding the grid up like way before the tunnel as he entered sector 3.
He's playing this smart. He's keeping a pace here. Now, we wait to see when he decides to pull this trigger.
It's gone.
There it is. He's kind of caught him napping, but Eckham is still right there. Anyway, here's the restart.
M-Dog spun, lost his entire front wing.
Oh no.
I don't know if he spun, but he made a mistake. His entire front wing's gone. He's just getting swallowed.
And I don't think he's going to have the turn-in ability here. He's going to have to go wide and slow right down. He will join the grid at the back end. That is a very unfortunate restart for him.
It is indeed T-Mac on the back of bait. He's getting it all of the beans.
Oh, he's
Can do
trying
it
to
on
look
the
at the
outside.
outside here. I wonder just how late he's going to brake. Here we go. Might be a little bit of a force here as they go off the track. No, he gives them space, and T-Mac will go up in a P6 for now. As they go through turn 8. Oh, he's just eking ahead, but Bates trying to hold the inside line. Oh, he taps him on the back.
Oh, 3, there's 3, there's going to be a crash. 4, it makes it 4. Oh, there's contact.
Oh,
Red Bull against
Panda.
one.
How is Panda surviving all this? A couple
I
of hits
don't-
back and forth.
Oh, this is intense. Forehead is trying to go on the outside. Can Mikhail sneak up the inside? He doesn't even want to try it. He doesn't want a bar of it. Big Al on Crush is already next to the AlphaTauri. Gets past him relatively easily. Crush
Oh, we've got a yellow
concedes.
sector flag. It's one of the Ferraris. I think.
That was chaos.
Yep, I think Indy got involved in that. I'm pretty sure he's got some damage there on the front wing. He does. Apollo Pepsi with rear wing damage.
Oh,
Mikko
no.
has also got front wing damage. Something happened at the back there.
Levi's got damage again. He's looking pretty worse
Oh,
for wear.
he's got no front wing. He's got no front wing. That Ferrari
oh.
has no front wing.
I love how Trin's just like, thank you, and he
Yep.
just scoots past everyone and
Yep.
then dives into the pit again. Oh.
I don't understand. All right, let's go back to the front of the grid. Ryan Bell still on the lead of this race. Eckham in P2, Big Al in P3, but he's got something to say about it as he's currently 0.1 behind Eckham here as they run down towards turn 7. It looks like Big Al might make a move. Eckham chooses the inside line. Big Al on the outside line. He brakes a little bit later. They're going bumper to bumper. Or rather wheel to wheel, I should say. As they go through turn 8 now, and I think Big Al's going to have the advantage. He does! You can see the 11s coming down the road as Eckham just couldn't get the traction down, and that's allowed the Alfa Romeo to get past. So Big Al now up in a P2.
Excellent by Big Al. He's only got 1.3 seconds to Ryan. Way pressure tyres. I reckon he's going to catch him.
We'll go down to his teammate here. T-Mac, P6, chasing down Sneaky, who's currently in P5. And it looks like the Alfa Romeos really do have a surge of energy at the moment.
Yeah, it's those pro mediums.
Just hear the engine screaming out there. This car's rev quite high. Again, inside of turn 17, you got to be careful that your car can bottom out. And so you don't want to do that. It's a very easy spin. And of course, we did see King J and Apex crashing.
Oh, P-Mac is so close to the back of that Mercedes, it's not even funny.
He's giving it everything. So DRS has now been re-enabled by race control. That will assist our drivers down towards turn 5, I believe it is.
Yeah, is that Trin around again? That's Trin around. Not having a
and
great
he's lost
race.
his wing. Oh my god, he's lost his entire front wing.
And we're only halfway.
Oh, here comes Panda on the back of Bait Mate. Both on the medium. Oh, sorry. Panda on the medium tyre, Bait on the hard tyre. Panda's going to look to go on the outside much later on the break. He locks up that front, and he's so lucky not to take out the front wing of the wall. And Forehead capitalised on the mistake. Panda now down to P9.
Yeah, big mistake by Panda. Bait read that really well. He knew he was going to run wide. No way Panda was going to pull that car up. Sneaky side by side T-Mac still battling, pushes T-Mac out wide.
Luckily, no damage here for either of them as T-Mac keeps going ahead. And Bates looking to try and capitalise on any mistake here from the Mercedes. That is a very interesting train there, I must say.
I'm amazed how these guys are fighting this way, considering how tight the circuit is. Forehead on Bait again.
Yeah, speaking
Can
of...
he make it stick?
Yeah, speaking of fight here, we're seeing a bit of a mirror right at the front here. Big Al has caught Ryan Bell, and he is not letting the back of that Aston Martin go. Ryan's doing a really good job, but of course, Big Al on those fresh tyres. Really eking out all the performance he can get, and I'm curious to see whether or not he'll be able to get him on the next Sector 1.
Or there's a chance here, maybe.
Here we go on the run down to turn 6. God, there's just so much speed. Ryan decided to take the inside line. Big Al will take the outside line. Side by side through turn 7. And I think Big Al might be able to squeeze it here into turn 8. But it goes left hand again. Oh, and the Aston Martin keeps it. Oh, but they trade back. It's a
Big Al for the
switch.
switch back!
Now down the run. Here we go. The Aston Martin again keeps he keeps the speed on the outside line. Wow.
That was amazing.
Oh, this guy, there's still half a race to go. And they're fighting like it's the last lap.
They're giving it absolutely everything.
Big Al with the DRS. He knows he can't get him right now. He'll just have to be content with sticking behind. But Jesus, they were giving it everything through that complex.
Cool beans all the way. Phoebe's tyres are destroyed as well, and he's still doing this.
So Phoebe tyre where, yeah, you can see there 45% on that rear right tyre. They are screaming at him. He will have to change tyres at some point, but he's decided, nope. No, I can use this track to my advantage, and I will not let you past.
Oh, Pepsi.
Oh,
Pepsi.
Safety car. That is a safety car. You can see that dot there just above the Sector 3 indicator. And Pepsi is out of this race.
Okay, so our hard runners are definitely going to come in and box now. That's a given. But what do these medium runners do?
I'm not sure, but I think we're about to find out. So here we go. Big Al really did put the pressure on Ryan Bell, and just as it was starting to heat up, the safety car was called out. We're now down to 14 drivers. And it's thrown a wrench in the works when it comes to strategy. So, I mean, Ryan has to come in for sure.
He will. All of our hard runners will come in now.
Yeah.
The ones that haven't anyway. The likes of Bait, I'm not sure. This really throws him out of the loop. Like, him and... no, he's the only one left on our strategy. Just him.
So there are the fastest sectors at the moment. Panda with Sector 1, Trin with Sector 2, and Ryan Bell with Sector 3. Current race story here. Started first. Still first. So a great race done by the Aston Martin, but based on the current pit strategy, he will have to come in, and that's going to allow Big Al to move on ahead.
Yeah, this hurts Ryan quite a bit. The Big Al pit only lost, I think, 2 or 3 positions. Ryan's going to pit now, and he's going to lose a ton of positions, depending on who pits with him.
So based on this, he'll probably come out in P7.
Ryan, I can crush pits, sneaky pits. Bait is pitting again. He's going to throw fresh mediums on, I think. Probably the
we
right
go.
call, to be honest.
Medium tyres go on the car. 2.2 on the pit stop. As standard. 20 or so seconds for a full transit. Actually, it looks like it's about 23 here in this game. 24 even. No, 25. 25.6 for a full pit stop. Wow, that is way more than I thought. But considering everyone came in, he comes out in P3.
Yeah, I expected less people to pit than that. That's amazing. Okay, so he hasn't really lost out at all. He's only got to deal with the Big Mac in front of him.
So, if you're Alfa Romeo, how worried are you?
I would be a little concerned from T-Mac's point of view. Big L should be fine considering this extra safety car. That'll push the tyre life out for him a little bit, so he should be fine. It's more a case of how long can T-Mac hold the force of nature that is Ryan Bell behind him.
Will be tested. And now the grid is quite separated at the moment, so we'll probably be under safety car for a couple of laps here.
Oh, shout out to Saint Easy in the chat. Big L's #1 fan.
And Indy there, 6 seconds of penalties showing for me.
Not sure if you're aware or not, Saint Easy, but some say that Ali is actually Big L's brother.
I have heard that in my time. You can see the CrowdStrike AMG just leading our cars around the circuit. And M-Dog right at the back there. Trying to catch up to... Actually, am I reading that wrong? Where is M-Dog right now on the circuit? I think he's just behind. He is. He's actually stuck in between everyone. Wow, that's not ideal. So he's actually blocking Ryan at the moment. I'm sure he'll get out of the way almost immediately once it restarts. But it's Trin that's at the back, following Lever. Oh, that's really nice. So M-Dog goes right out of the circuit to allow everyone ahead. Now, hopefully he doesn't get pinged with a 10-second penalty here. And that's professionalism right there.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice of him.
Allowing everybody to get by. Everybody except Mika.
Ali, why didn't Al and T-Mac pit? That is a good question. They both should have pit. They have fresh mediums available to them.
That's a negative IQ. Well, I mean, he's your brother.
So they will suffer.
Oh, and there we go. M-Dog's just allowed him to get past there again. Really good sportsmanship there from the AlphaTauri.
He's completely lapped now, isn't he?
He is, yes. So we're counting down the laps here. So we'll be on lap 20 at least before the safety car comes in. I don't think it'll come in this lap. There's still 3 drivers, nowhere near the rest of the grid.
There'll be a sprint race to the end then. I love how the CrowdStrike safety car and the 2 cars behind him are kind of matching liveries.
Yes, red and white. It's a nice procession there. Alfa Romeo, of course, going red and black for the 2023 season.
Is it red and black, or is it red and no paint?
I'm pretty sure it's black, right?
Okay.
Because don't they have steak as a sponsor now? I swear I saw that on like a black body.
Oh, they probably, yeah, they do. But I'm just wondering if it's actually, if they bothered painting it black, or if they're just leaving it without the paint, going the Mercedes route to save weight. Yeah.
Maybe. For a minute, I thought Big Al was coming into the pits, and I was going to be like, "What?" But no, he stayed out. That's fine. Okay, so considering where the cars are now, I think this will be the final safety car lap, unless of course someone decides to do a big crunch, which brings it back out again. But for now, I believe this will be the final safety car lap, and then we will be on a straight dash to the finish, where Alfa Romeo I think T-Mac's going to have to channel his inner Hodor and just not just hold the door, but close it completely to everyone behind to allow Big Al to get such a lead advantage that he isn't in threat. But considering that tyre wear, it's not too bad for Big Al at the moment, but for T-Mac, it's creeping up there.
Can you tell us what Big Al's tyre wear actually is?
Yeah, on your screen
you've
right
got it
now,
up.
28% on the rear right, 27% on the rear left. So it's on average, we're at 27%. But the safety car laps are giving him respite.
Yeah, absolutely are. Fortunately, with Bieber and Big Al being so close in pace comparatively, giving Bieber an advantage like fresh tyres, I think is just all he needs. Have a look at Bieber. He's actually just drifting behind that car.
Yeah, here we go. So we have confirmation the safety car will be in this lap. So once this lap has finished, we'll be under racing conditions. Big Al will lead the group. It will be up to him to safely restart this hornet's nest of a grid. We've got a chomping at the bit to get started. And I think Big Al's going to give Ryan a little bit of his own medicine here. Just weave back and forth, try and get the optimum temperature in the carcass of the tyre. Jump on board with the Alfa Romeo. We'll see when he decides to take the chance. Just wait for the engine notes. Here we go, right up to the penultimate corner. And now, it's T-Mac's time to shine. How long can he hold that green machine in his rearview mirror?
I honestly don't think it'll be long at all. Trent already gets past Levi.
I
He's next to him already.
No, do not count out the Alfa Romeo. Down on the inside, is he going to be able to hold him out? He'll force him to the wall. But I think Ryan Bell might just have the edge. He is by a nose and now he's ahead. And the Aston Martin has been unleashed to chase down the Alfa Romeo of Big Al. T-Mac tried his best, but unfortunately his best was not good enough on this occasion.
I don't think Big Al's got much of a chance now considering that tyre deficit, but we'll see how long he can hold him back.
He needs to hold out for 10 laps. We are currently on P8. Watching Panda and the other Aston Martin chasing down Batemate here. Everyone on comparable tyre age. You can see 3 all the way down the board, 4th to 9th. Everyone on the same tyres. Eckham looking to try and chase down T-Mac as well. And I have a feeling that T-Mac is about to be swallowed by the entire grid.
Considering that tyre life, I'd say so, yeah. Eckham is rearing to get past him.
So T-Mac's going to have to work extra hard in order to prevent losing more positions, but it will be inevitable. But if he can at least allow his teammate and Ryan to get further ahead, then there's less of a threat, and Big Al should be able to score good points.
Sneaky's lost about 4 positions. He managed to recover it, but it cost him dearly.
So there we go, 10 lap warning on the board.
Levi's round again.
But he kept it out of the wall there, so there'll be no safety car. And Big Al is burning ERS right now in order to stay ahead, which is fine. I do not blame him at all. We want to try and hold on to this lead as much as he can. Eckham now
Written on Jacob.
Yeah, could probably tell you the octane level of the fuel coming out of the back of that Alfa Romeo is so close. He tries to look on the outside, but can't quite get it. I will give T-Mac props here. He is playing the defensive game perfectly. Here goes Eckham down the inside. Hard on the brakes, and he does not have the room to turn. And this is really good from the Alfa Romeo now. T-Mac is... but he gets sideways. And that's going to cost him now. Eckham has to be given the space. They go to the hairpin. Oh, and I think Big Crush might have him. Oh, no, he did not get the traction out of the corner. Here goes Eckham now. To the left side, but no speed. Wow, T-Mac is holding on to P3 for dear life.
Gotta give it to T-Mac, he's defending like a lion.
Like a lion. Here we go, the Red Bull on the outside. The Alfa Romeo on the inside. We have a VSC, and who's caused that? I think it might be the Ferrari. No, it's one of the... is it the Alpha Tauri?
That's an Alpha Tauri. He's out of the race.
Oh, it's M-Dog. M-Dog is out of the race, and it is a VSC. So there will be no physical safety car. All drivers must go to a Delta. Now, sometimes this can get really whack and cause some problems, but hopefully everyone doesn't get any glitches. They'll just have to stay slow, go through their microsectors, keep under that Delta, and then once race control determine that the track is safe, they'll be back under green flag conditions and to full speed. But
So that was 3 safety cars.
yes.
Well, technically.
There we go. We are on the green flag. DRS immediately enabled. No time wasted here by race control.
Eckham.
Oh, and T-Max lost it. Oh, but he got a much better exit. It's so back and forth. Oh, but he goes way so sideways. The tyre wear is now starting to get to him. Have a look at Bait now. Bait smelling the blood in the water.
Yeah, I think that was the limit there. The floodgates have opened now.
Oh, man, a commendation here for T-Mac. He's trying so hard, but unfortunately... And you can have a look here. Look at the tyre wear there. 39% on those rears. He knows it's a losing battle. He knows that everyone around him has fresher tyres, fresher rubber. And so, the gargantuan task of trying to hold on to as many positions as he can. His only benefit here is, of course, the track. It's nature. He can use it to his advantage, but as the tyre wear increases and the laps dwindle down, it will only be harder and harder for him to maintain 5th position here. But his teammate still in the lead.
I gotta hand it to Big Al. He's defending way better than I thought he would.
See them. Oh, it's a beautiful shot there of the cars going down the main straight into turn 1. And Panda. Vicious. Look at him right on the back of the Alpine. He is just waiting for T-Mac to slip up, and then hopefully he can capitalise just as Bait will as well.
Oh, he's gonna try, but there's even less ERS than Bait does.
Here we go. So Bait's going to go on the outside, on the inside rather, and Panda just dropping back. Here we go. T-Mac is still fighting, and to his credit, he's allowed to. On the inside, it might cut Panda off slightly. All right, so T-Mac saves at least 1 position here.
Oh, he's just bleeding out there, isn't he?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, it is. It's hard to watch. Oh, his forehead makes a mistake at the corner there. That's allowed Mick out to catch. And it is so... Oh, sneaky on the inside! Sneaky on the inside, but he bled way too much speed there, so Panda will stay in P7. Oh, sneaky now on the outside! Again, not enough speed. Oh, but he is trying everything to get past the Aston Martin here.
Oh, that'll be a warning by the game, I think. Yeah, sorry, M-Dog, bad luck. Good sportsmanship, though, letting everyone past you at my safety car restart. That was really nicely done, man.
Yeah, that's definitely a mad sign of respect there. Trying to not impede anyone from this race. Here we are, lap 24 of 31. We're dwindling it down as Eckham sets the fastest lap of the race. A 140.4 there on the medium tyre. And we'll switch up to the front of this grid. Oh, just a little bit of a love tap there from the Aston Martin. Just letting Big Al know of the looming threat behind him. And I think Big Al, it's almost as if to say, I don't care. And, oh, the speed difference is crazy. He's got the DRS advantage. Big Al knows it. So unless Big Al's willing to go deep on the brakes, he doesn't. He falls straight back behind. And now he'll be looking to try and use DRS to his own advantage. And, oh, but you can just hear how much the engine is screaming when he drops that throttle. The tyres are just not there with him. So Big Al may have to resort to trying to hold on to P2.
Yeah, T-Mac just lost out to Panda, and Sneaky's looking like a dive at the inside of him as well into Sector 2.
Wow,
Can
that's
he
a
get it done? Oh,
they come together!
Contact!
That was not the move. That was not the move. Sneaky went way too fast, way too deep, did not give the Alfa Romeo enough room, and I think that will be looked at by the stewards. And unfortunately, T-Mac has now lost more positions than he should have, down to P12.
Yep, that's unfortunate for T-Mac. He was driving so well. He was brilliant.
I think Sneaky just sort of saw red, saw a window, decided to go in for it, couldn't pull up the car, and then as T-Mac was turning, he's come into contact with the front of that Mercedes, and it's put him around.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate there. He was having such a good race.
Big Al setting his own fastest lap there, 1:39. As Panda picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to cost him. Sneaky's going to be laughing now, even Forehead, for that matter. Forehead just has to make sure he doesn't drop too far back, otherwise he will not reap the benefits of that penalty.
Even Mika, I think, keep his pace up.
It'll depend, but there is the potential for that. So here we go, Crush now, chasing down Eckham here, who in turn is chasing down Big Al. But Ryan Bell, 4 seconds ahead. So this is his race to win. As T-Mac now picks up 3 seconds for time warning. For multiple warnings, I should say.
They're already over the point that you would normally stretch the mediums to.
So let's see, T-Mac is at 49%, Big Al at 48%. And so just so much time is going to be bled here from those two cars. It is a very, very rough decision to not pit during that safety car window. And it is now coming home to roost.
We'll see what Big Al can do here to defend Eckham. He's definitely got the ERS advantage. He's building up for a few laps now, so he's got that on his side. But I just think the raw performance in the corners is probably going to be enough for Eckham.
We've only got 5 laps to go. See the warning come up on the next go around, and Eckham is you can tell he's getting held up slightly, but at the same time Big Al's doing such a good job out of these corners as Ryan sets another fastest lap, 1:39.37. But Big Al, again, for those of you at home, there's the tyre wear screen, 52% on the rear right tyre.
He'll be fairly close to puncture territory by the end of this race.
Started second, still second. And look at that Red Bull, it's getting larger. It's getting larger. It looks on the inside. I'm curious to see if it'll... Oh, they come together slightly, but no damage. And Big Al's going to try. He's going to try and force him. He's done it well so far, but now look at Crush. Crush doesn't care if it's the sister team. He wants to overtake.
That was a bit naughty by Big Al. He should have left more in there.
I don't know. It seemed okay. They're playing hardball. We're getting to the end of this race, and Crush really did have a chance there, but unfortunately dropped back again, so we'll stay fourth for now. And bad news there for Sneaky and Forehead. They're dropping back significantly from the Aston Martin, so I think Panda's not going to lose too many positions based on where they are right now.
No, he should be fine.
So Ryan Bell, 4 seconds ahead. He is in his own little world, and he will most likely take, bar a surprise incident, he will most likely take this win. I don't think we've got enough laps for a safety car should someone crash out, so it will just be to the end. But the real story here, man, Big Al with those tyres is successfully holding back the Red Bull advance, and Eckham, I mean, he must be seeing red right now. Well, of course he is. It's an Alfa Romeo, but he wants to get past, and he's just not able to do so. And any time he gets any inkling of advantage, Big Mac just turns it up one more notch.
It's pretty cool to see Big Al defend the way he's defending. I'm just watching the onboards here. Big Al is still getting really good access out of the corners that matter. So even though Eckham is pumping all of his battery, He just can't close that gap.
Yep. 2 words. Street circuit. Just abuse the fact that there's not a lot of room. You get the exits that matter, and it doesn't matter for the car behind. Like, I mean, they need a significant boost of speed. You can hear the engine. It is revving off its head. Eckham is just planting it, being like, no, I need speed. There it goes again, just as it balances on the edge of the gear shift, and it's just not working for him. Man, Big Al's tyre wear, it's like yelling at me. The telemetry is being like, Pet! But he doesn't want to. There's 4 and picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is Mick Al is smiling.
Ooh.
That's a free
Okay, I
position.
would be happy about that, yeah. Man, Big Al is doing a phenomenal job defending here. Eckham is using all his ERS. He'll have none left for the back straight. That's just silly, to be honest. If you use it there, on the second straight, you'll have no power left.
This is incredible to watch. Sneaky picks up a 3-second time penalty, and it is now even. Panda is laughing. He'll actually hold on to that position should nothing change. Now,
That's just funny.
Ryan Bell, 10 seconds. He has not slowed up at all. He wants it. He wants to be in home, in bed by the time that P2 goes across the line. And Big Al, just look at it. 60% on the rear tyre, and he's still in P2.
The man is driving for his life out there.
He just
Saying
doesn't
that,
care.
his teammate's about to help him. T-Mac just pit for fresh socks, so he's going to make sure that Ryan gets 25 points and not 26.
Right, yeah, that's it. That's where the extra championship point strategy comes in. It's a point. Might just be one, but it matters. Eckham, trying to look for the switchback. It might actually be on this time round. No! But Big Al is playing the defensive game very smart. Eckham tried to go deep on the inside, but didn't have the speed coming on the outside. Crash has also dropped back. I'm gonna lose my voice. Big Al is just staying so well ahead. Oh, man.
I agree with Farmer Sam in chat. This is amazing hard racing to watch.
You can
Big
tell.
Al is not giving an inch.
You can tell how... Oh, here we go! Turn 1! The Red Bull puts all the chips on the table! Oh, and it does not work out! It does not work out at all, and now Eckham's rear... Oh, hold on a minute! Eckham has front wing damage!
Oh.
Oh, I wonder if that was caused... I'm not too sure if that was caused during that procession. I didn't see it before on the telemetry, but I can't be certain.
This fighting has not only let Crush catch up, but it's also let Babe catch up.
Yep. I've been keeping an eye on that, and I was about to mention it. We are lap 30 of 31. We are 2 laps away from the end of this race. And the fighting that has occurred has meant that the rest of the grid has been able to catch up. And, I mean, if you think Eckham's angry for a position, just wait for the guys at the back. Here we go. Turn 13, hairpin. Hear the engine roar. Eckham is like, just get me to the next gear.
He is trying, but Big Al is... That Alfa Romeo is so wide, it's not even funny.
T-Mac, fastest lap, 138.7. Beckham tries to go on the inside again. There's contact there for the rear tyre. I'm not sure who was on the right. In any case, well, look at Bate now. This Alpine. El Plan. Oh, man.
I honestly think a lot of these positions are going to come down to the stewards.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. We know who's going to win this race. But who's going to come P2? As we hit... there was a yellow flag there on the main straight. I'm not sure exactly what that was for, but we're under green conditions again. So here we go. So Ryan Bell, 13 seconds down the road. Big Al, with no tyres left, 65% average tyre wear, is still putting it all on the line for P2.
Oh.
Eckham is down here. Now Crush wants a piece of the action. Crush actually manages to make it past. That's a big upset for Eckham.
Sneaking forward and fighting 2 behind.
That is a big upset, the Red Bull.
Sneaking forward came together. They slowed up a lot.
Now that might allow Mikau to try and catch up here. We'll jump back on board. So Crush now trying to get past Big Al. Ekim, not only angry he couldn't make it past the Alfa Romeo in the first place, but now the sister team's up there. God, just hear the engine roar as he comes out of the hairpin. Now Crush is looking. Big Al's looking to block that down. Oh, and it's got the problem! It's got the problem! Big Al's in the wall, and Ekim's up into P2!
Ekim put him in the wall.
No, it was Crush!
Was it Crush?
It was Crush! Crush tried to go on the inside. They both locked up their tyres, and Ekim profited big time, but the real winner is Brian Bell as he crosses the line.
Bait somehow snuck himself in there, and he's going to end up on the podium.
He did because the other two crashed. So Ekim in P2 and Baitmate will cross for P3. Oh, and that's a big upset for Big Al and Crush there. Big Al actually goes to the P5 due to the penalties to Panda, but jeez Louise.
That has to be the most intense Singapore race we've ever had.
Now that is nuts. That is right up there. But I must say, and this is something that all happened because Crush decided to suicide on the inside and couldn't pull the car up. And so I don't know how that'll resolve. But I mean, Ekim played that so well. He just stayed back enough. So when he saw that mistake happen, just took the right line. And I mean, if you're Bait too, right? Just laughing. P3 with that. And yeah, I mean, that's a rough one. If you're Big Al, you should feel sour because you can't go anywhere. You've got a whole Formula 1 car on your inside. Like,
that's a chicane, off goes Cross, through goes Ekim.
So like, yeah, I mean, he gets driver of the day.
I imagine the stewards are going to be busy this week. There was some ministry going on there.
I'll say this: he did gain 12 positions in the race, so
he did.
That's why. But I mean, we saw it. We all saw it. If I was smart, I would have captured it. But I was so just enthralled in the moment, seeing Ekim and Bait make their way through, that I didn't manage to cap it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's sad that it had to come down to that. But that is racing, and sometimes that's what happens. But if you're Ryan Bell, you enjoy the champagne. And unfortunately for Big Al, he didn't finish P2, and so he will drop down a bit based on points. So
yep.
Big Al will be on the back foot, but knowing those two, it will be a heated battle all the way to the final race. So there we are, Ryan Bell, our winner. He doesn't get the 26 points though, like you said, Psycho. T-Mac took it away from him with that late pit stop. So Ekim there in P2, Bait cheering in P3. Started 8th on the grid, ends up on the last step of the podium. Crush and Big Al came together, but Crush ended up just ahead. As Big Al Mikau up into P6, staying clean with no penalties there. Panda, Trin, Forehead, and Indy. Indy with points! Good job for the Ferrari. He will gain 1 point for his troubles. And a massive DNFs there. M-Dog, Apollo, Pepsi, King J, Apex, and Jack Humphreys all crashing out of the race. All right, so that was quite an interesting race, but we're not done yet. That was only Tier 1. Tier 2 will be around the corner. We'll take a short break. And then Apollo Pepsi will bring you the Tier 2 race. Thank you for tuning in. Please stay, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.
Oh, I've been waiting for too long. Girl, I've been craving, 'cause it's with you